right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Big Time Hoops, the podcast. And it's a big week. It would be the McDonald's game. There's no McDonald's game. There is a banquet, and they're going to crown a Mr. Basketball. And we got one of the finalists joining us tonight. You guys know this man, Cash McClure, Mr. Basketball finalist, Miranda Cook, Black Bear, right? Black Bears, right?
Yep, Black Bears.
Black Bears, but you guys got yellow. I don't understand where the yellow comes from with the mascot. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, not sure.
But yeah, so it should be a big week, right? Waiting to find out what's going to happen with the Mr. Basketball. Like, how you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good. Of course, it's just an honor to be named a finalist for Mr. Basketball with the other two guys, Peyton and Parker, who are both really good. So I'm excited to hear what happens.
What's the plan here? Because I know it's a little bit different than it's been in years past. They're doing a virtual banquet. So what are they actually doing for you guys?
That's a good question. All I know, what I have to do is I have to come up with a speech just in case I win, and then record myself doing it so they can play it at the banquet. But
so it's not even like a live event. It's not like over Zoom or anything like that.
I think no. Honestly, I don't know yet. Probably gonna have to figure that out.
So how do you find out? Like, if you won, like, how are you gonna know? You're not gonna know it's like afterwards or what?
I mean, maybe you're right. It probably is a live Zoom event where we're gonna stream it or something. I know, like, my team and my family, we're gonna meet somewhere, just watch the banquet. So
it's got to be nerve-wracking, but I mean, it's got to also be exciting because I'm guessing as a kid growing up, something you dream about. It's one of those goals you probably said, like, man, if this could come true, but here you are, right? So I'm guessing in the back of your mind all season long, this was something that you were shooting for, something that you really wanted.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, it's of course coming into like high school. That's like one of the biggest goals I had was to be named like one of the best players in the state. And then when the top 10 list came out, I was really happy to hear about that. And then just a few weeks ago when top 3 came out, I was, that was awesome. So of course I'm a little anxious just to hear what happens, but I'm just going to go with whatever happens. And I know I'm up against some good competition. So
you mentioned the speech. You got to get a speech prepared. What are you going to do? You going to wait till the last minute and just wing it? Or are you going to start practicing here? Or what's the plan for the speech?
I'll probably write a few drafts and then read off a paper while recording myself because I'm not the best at talking like off the top of my head. So,
well, look, just look at it this way. I'm sure you got like an English class or something like that. You probably got some writing assignments that are doing school here. Just make it that good so it can count as like a school assignment here.
Definitely
for it.
Yeah, I'll just pass it in and see what happens.
So that's obviously the end of the week, but you had a big week last week too. So you guys wrapped up your pod championship and went undefeated. So obviously probably not the championship you were gunning for this year. Probably wanted to get back that state game, but let's go back because we had you on the podcast. It was last June or July. So it was before this season.
Yeah.
So let's go back. Let's talk about the season. So I'm guessing you were just excited to have a season. What was your pod experience like?
Well, of course, we were happy to play. We were fortunate enough to be in a green county for the entire season, so we didn't have to wait like most other teams did. But playing with masks, we thought it was going to be bad at first. Ended up not being that bad. The worst thing for me was playing with no fans, just because I love like that kind of fan interaction. And when you, especially this year, since I'm like actually throwing down dunks now, it would have been cool to have some fans cheering for that, but we had to just kind of go with the flow. And yeah, like you said, we went undefeated, which is one of our biggest goals. And we ended up winning our Central Maine championship, and we're really happy to do that. And we were going into it thinking it was just a normal championship, just because that's the best thing we were going to get. Of course, it's not like the gold ball, but I think we honestly played some better teams in that tournament than we would have in the actual B tournament. So
yeah, I was gonna say, so that might have been like one of the cool things, because when I had Parker on a couple weeks ago, he was talking about how like he was playing against schools they wouldn't have normally played against. So
yeah,
how different was your schedule versus what it normally would have been, and then how different was the playoffs versus what, like you said, what the tournament would have been like had you guys gone through Class B?
Yeah, the playoffs were completely different for us, but I think the normal season was like half and half. We played like the teams we would have normally played, like Erskine and Coney, and we sometimes play Levitt. So we played all those teams in the regular season. But then we added in like Edward Little, who we've never played a double A team before, which was good for us. But the playoffs, we would not usually ever play Gardner, never play Meso, and we'd never play Skowhegan. So it felt good to beat those three teams and win the championship.
Yeah, so obviously the playoff wasn't the playoff you wanted or anticipated coming into the year. You wanted like an actual Class B tournament, but did it wind up meaning a little bit more like actually going through like this pod championship? Did it feel special to you guys, even though it wasn't what you guys had envisioned probably as kids growing up and then even just coming into the year?
Yeah, it definitely felt special, especially after last year and the tough loss. But, you know, Coach wanted it to be as special as possible. So he was fighting really hard to get the tournament and even get the season going. So we're really thankful for that. And, you know, it's not, like you said, not the normal Class B tournament where we might have had a rematch against Caribou, which would have been pretty cool, but we're still happy we were able to, you know, we finished our season in our home gym and went undefeated and won a championship senior year. So it felt good.
And that trophy's dope. That trophy looks like an NCAA tournament trophy. That thing's legit.
What we're saying, it is pretty sick.
And you mentioned another team too, Caribou, which kind of sucks in all this too, because Caribou, who you guys lost to in a heartbreaker last year in the Class B final, they marched through their season undefeated, right? They win their championship up there. And had this been a normal world, like you guys probably could have matched up and had a rematch this year. So that's got to kind of be like the sad part in all this, though, is that you're missing out on that, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. It would have been really cool to have a rematch with them.
What were some of the cool points this season? You mentioned the schedule wasn't too different than normal, but you mentioned playing some schools you don't normally play, probably playing against some players you don't normally play against.
Yeah.
What were some of the cool points from the season?
Well, you know, just mainly playing with this group of guys that I've been playing with for a long time now, and just, you know, winning all of the games and seeing how successful and how the hard work paid off. That was the most special part for me. But, you know, playing like beating a double A school in Everett, who's really good, and of course they have John, who's really big and really tough to stop inside.
Yeah.
Beating them felt that was good. And I'm pretty sure, I don't think we played a single Class B team all year. We played all A schools, double A schools, and then I think we played one Class C in Winthrop. But so, I mean, for us, it felt really good to go undefeated playing that kind of schedule.
You mentioned your teammates, and there's one person I want you to talk about because I feel bad because Casey like is a great player in his own right, and he had a lot of great games this year. But every time he had a great game, you had like a greater game. So I had to constantly post you and your stats and your pictures and stuff like that. But talk about Casey and just how talented he is, because another reason why you guys should have been back in the state game if it was a normal season, just because of players like him and the players you have around you. Just talk about Casey and just how special of a player he is.
No, definitely. It's great. It's great to have, you know, I think we're one of the best backcourts in the state. So any team we go up against, we'd be tough to stop. So if I'm having an off game and he's having a great game, just feed him the ball. He can hit 7-8 threes in any night. I've already said this multiple times, but I think he's the best shooter in the state. So, and he's in the 3-point contest. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm
gonna get your predictions in a moment with that. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just he's one of the guys that he didn't go to my school when we were younger, but I started playing AAU with him when I was in like 4th grade, and we've been playing together ever since. So just growing up with him and having him by my side this whole time, it's been great. And just to see how much better we've both gotten over the years has been awesome.
One thing I was surprised by when going back and watching a lot of the game footage this year was Casey had a couple dunks. I wasn't expecting dunks from Casey. But also you, right? So this year out of nowhere, we just get dunks.
Yeah.
What off-season program were you guys on that came back and just were catching dunks left and right this year?
I'm not gonna lie, he had the bounce before I did, so he put me on these resistance bands that he had for a while, and they're magical, I think, because they helped both of us quite a bit. But he had a few dunks last year in game. I don't know if a lot of people knew that, but And then coming into this year, yeah, we're both throwing down some dunks. So I mean, we kind of gave him crap because we were like, oh, Casey lost his bounce, and because he's got like knee problems right now, but he threw a good one down in the championship game, so I was happy for him.
Yeah, I got to get to your highlight package this year because you were just all over the top 10 plays pretty much, or top plays all week long here. Just the complete package. I think you had one type of highlight, like you had a pass, you had like a three-quarter court shot, had some dunks. You were all over the place. So people keep asking me though, where'd the bounce come from, right? And did he grow? Same size as last year, right? It's just the bounce that came along this year, right?
Yeah, maybe an inch or two taller since last year. I've gotten like a little. I weigh a little bit more now, but yeah, it's definitely the bounce that's changed the most. And like I said, I got it from these resistance bands that Casey put me on. So.
And then I want to know, what was your favorite dunk of the year? Because you have a couple that could be nominated for dunk of the year.
Yeah.
Which one was the most special to you?
Definitely the one against Coney, just because it wasn't completely on someone, but it was kind of on someone. And that one, I got pretty pumped after that one. And I mean, in the video, you can see all my teammates, they're going crazy on the sideline. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I have a couple. I like the one off the hop step, the two-handed off the hop step that you had.
Yeah.
That one, catching the body there, and the alley-oop too. The Mount Blue game. So you had all kinds of highlights this year.
Yeah, that one was the Mount Blue one. That kind of surprised me. We drew that play up at half. Actually, Joey DuPont, one of my teammates and my best friend, he drew that one up at halftime. So I have to give him credit for that.
So not only did you guys have a bunch of highlights, you guys put a ton of points on the board. Just talk about your team, because we talked about Casey, but the one thing I noticed, because I watched a bunch of games this year, and there were just certain players who had better players around them, and I feel like it goes beyond just Casey. You guys just had like a good team, like from top to bottom. Like you were just surrounded by a lot of good players.
Yeah, we definitely are. Our team is extremely talented. We like to play fast pace, so we get up and down, and just fast break is kind of our game. But like we also, everyone on the team can shoot, so anyone can have a 4 or 5 3-point night. And I mean, I think we're up there for the most talented team in the state just overall, just because our starting lineup, and then we're really deep too. A few of our juniors stepped up big this year, especially Tyler, I think he shot, I don't know, close to 60% from 3 in the year. He was lights out. But yeah, I mean, we just play fast pace, up and down, press, get steals, or just, I think we can play however.
Yeah, just a ton of points. I think you guys put up like 98 the other night last week. You guys had a 98-point game.
Yeah, we put up 98. I'm pretty sure 3 or 4 times this year. We couldn't break the 100 mark for some reason, but
still, we'll take 98. 98 is getting up and down the floor.
Yeah.
So we mentioned how the season wasn't like how you probably anticipated. It wound up being maybe a little bit better than what you had expected after you found out, there wasn't going to be a state tournament and stuff like that. What's the one thing you missed out on most besides taking the tournament out of the picture? Because I'm guessing playing for a state championship was probably the one thing that you can't replace. But what's something else that was missing? Was it the fans? Was there no fans? Is that the biggest thing besides not having a tournament that you'll remember from this year?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. But another thing was that, just to kind of stay cautious with COVID and not take a chance with getting a case, we didn't really go out to like team dinners or anything, or we weren't able to hang out much other than seeing each other in practice, just because we wanted to stay safe, and it was the smartest thing to do. But I miss going out to dinner or breakfast with the guys. That's definitely one thing I miss a lot. You
guys had cardboard cutouts in the crowd, right? So was there anyone special? Like, is there like a specific, did you guys put like non-fans? Did you guys put like celebrities or stuff in there? Do you have like a celebrity row or anything crazy like that?
No, but we did have cardboard cutouts of our dogs. So
okay. Well, with no fans there, it kind of takes away the home court environment. But what was like the one place you guys traveled to that still kind of felt like a hostile road environment? Was there one place that was still kind of felt hostile even without fans?
Probably Levitt or EL. Levitt's just always kind of got that feel to it for me. And EL, I've only played there like once before, and it was a while ago, so it was different.
Yeah, was that probably the we talked about like some of the stranger things or things that you missed out on this year, but playing Edward Little, like playing a AA school who is defending AA Class A state champions, is that probably like the coolest thing?
Yeah, that was that was definitely cool. And like they lost a few guys, but they're still really good. And
how big is John? How big is Big John?
John is huge. I mean, he's very hard to stop inside. I didn't guard him. I mean, I think Joey guarded him, and Joey's given up 6 inches and a couple like 50 pounds or something on him. He's huge.
So obviously we talked about at the end of this week, we're going to find out who's Mr. Basketball. How tough is it? Because I'm guessing there is a juggling act here where it's something you want, like you want to be crowned Mr. Basketball. You want to be considered like the best player in the state. But how tough is it to kind of balance staying within the system, staying within the team, not trying to go out and do too much to kind of bolster your resume? Like, was it a juggling act at all, or was it just being surrounded by such great players? They just allowed you to go out and you be you and still put you in a position to maybe be crowned Mr. Basketball here?
Well, honestly, like during all the games, I didn't even think about Mr. Basketball. This season, I wanted to go undefeated and, win every game by as much as we could. So I've said it multiple times, but I just did whatever I could to, make that happen, whether it was scoring or getting rebounds or passing. And like Casey had two 30-point games, multiple 20-point games. And like Tim and Joey, all of the guys can score. So I didn't always have to be the one out there scoring points.
So you got the undefeated record, got the pod championship, Mr. Basketball. We're going to find out this week. Dunk contest tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe be crowned the dunk champion as well.
We'll see.
We're going to get your predictions in a second here. I got a couple more things I want to get through first, though. But look at the basketball after this year. So decided to go the prep route. What was the decision behind that?
Well, it's kind of a weird story with that. So I was pretty much set to go to Colby, but that didn't end up working out. And all along, like last year going into this year, I've kind of always wanted to play for my uncle because my uncle's the coach at Campbell Union. So, and I've always kind of wanted to do that. So that was my first choice. Like when I first started this whole what am I going to do next year process kind of thing. But Colby is like a great school, and I've reached out to them. They reached out to me, and we're kind of set on that. But when that fell through, I was pretty upset just because I was like, wow, why is this year just kind of sucks with everything going on. But everyone kept telling me like, everything's going to work out. And I guess they were right, because I'm back to what I wanted to do in the first place and go prep, play for my uncle, and, see what happens next year.
How much I'm guessing it affected things significantly, but how much did COVID and not having like a normal season and things just being not the norm, did it affect college and teams looking at you and stuff like this? Like, did it make a big difference?
I think it made, a decent amount of difference, just because, it's with all these new rules and stuff. I guess college seniors can stay another year. They have another year of eligibility to play. So
that's true.
Their teams are going to be packed, and then they're going to be looking for transfer players or kids that have already, had the experience. They're not going to be looking for Central Maine high school basketball kids this year, at least. So it kind of affected that part, but I think that's why going the prep route will really help me, just give me that extra year of, being in the gym, lifting, and getting the exposure. Resistance
bands for another summer, add some more to the vertical, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So when I had you on last time, I asked you what you were doing in the summertime to come back to try to win a state championship, what you were going to get better at, how you were going to attack your off season. What's this off season look like? Jumping levels, you're going to the prep level. So what are you going to be doing this summer? Because basketball's done for the year. The season's done. So what is from now until the fall semester look like for you?
Well, I'm actually starting up 2 weeks from now with this team out of New York playing AAU for the spring and summer, and they play in some pretty big tournaments, and they play for the Hoop Group Select League, which is pretty like college coaches go watch those games all the time. So that could be really good for me. I just have to, play well.
No pressure. No pressure there.
No, definitely not. But yeah, that's pretty much the plan. And of course, I'll work out. I'll probably work out with Ben quite a bit this spring and summer. So it should be good.
All right. So I'm gonna get you up out of here on this some prediction stuff. So the 3-point shootout, the dunk contest is up right now. So when you're in the dunk contest, I want to get your predictions for all three events. So for the 3-point shootout on the boys' side, who are you going with? I'm guessing you're picking your teammate.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Casey.
How come you didn't rebound for him? How come you weren't feeding him passes? You had somebody else feeding him passes.
Yeah, I was watching him. I was tired. I just finished doing some dunks for the dunk contest, so I was like, I'm gonna sit down for a little bit.
And I'm just curious because I don't know for a fact how many rounds they went through to get their best score. How many times did he go through? Do you want to spill it?
I honestly think it was I think he got his best score on his first round.
Okay.
And he kept going to get a better score, but I don't think he beat it. So.
Okay. We're not going to spill the score, and I'm not going to spill who won, but that's a prediction for the boys. How about for the girls? The girls feel stacked.
Yeah, I got to go with Camille on that one.
Okay.
She's like the best shooter I've seen.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah. And then I set it up so the winner of the boys goes against the winner of the girls. So there's an ultimate head-to-head to determine the best shooter in the state. So you'll find out that shortly. And then the last event, the dunk contest. Guessing you're picking yourself on this one.
I mean, I guess I'll pick myself, but I know there's a bunch of athletic guys in that. It's like Peyton, and I know JP can do some stuff. I've seen JP do some stuff before, so.
Peyton didn't make the cut, man. Peyton didn't send me his stuff, so he's not in.
Oh.
No. I never got it from him, so Peyton didn't make the cut, unfortunately. He had 2 dunks, and I was waiting for him, and he never sent it, and I never got the third, so Peyton didn't make it this year.
Well, I mean, I did see Evan Kilfoyle dunk on someone at the top 30 camp this summer, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's a lot. I got to be honest, it came out a lot better than I was anticipating. I'm actually really pleased with the way it all came together and the way everyone did their stuff. So it's really, really cool. And the fans are actually going to vote for the winner of the dunk contest. So in a couple of days, it'll be a fan vote, and we'll see if you get crowned the champion. And then last prediction, Mr. Basketball. Who are you going with for Mr. Basketball?
Of course, I gotta go with myself, but whoever wins, I'm just gonna congratulate them just because they deserve it. They've had good careers and they're really good players. So
yeah, it's a really good crowd, and I think it's interesting because we got a Class AA player, we got a Class B player, and we got a Class D player.
Yeah,
so it's usually you just see a lot of the bigger school kids in there, and I think it's cool that we got a Class D player, Class B. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Parker with 2,000 points and 2 state championships, that's kind of unheard of. So, And then Peyton just scored his 1,000th point and playing against really good competition.
It'll be interesting. So that goes down when it goes down Friday night, right?
I think so, yeah.
Friday night. We'll have to see who wins Mr. Basketball.
Yeah.
Cash McClure, ladies and gentlemen, on Big Time Hoops, the podcast. We're going to find out if he gets Mr. Basketball. We're going to find out if he wins the dunk contest. It could be a very, very big week. Very big week for Cash.
Could be. We'll see.
We're going to find out. And then also, Cash, we're going to be having an end-of-year black tie event, the Big Timer Awards coming up shortly. Dunk of the year. Pat, I think you're going to be in maybe 4 categories for your dunk of the year is definitely going to be in there. The crazy buzzer beater, your shot's got to be in there. Pass of the year, you've had one of those. I don't know how many categories you're going to get nominated for, but it's coming up. But if you win any of these awards, will you come on the show and accept the award?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so I'd like to hear it's going down. Ladies and gentlemen, Cash McClure. Any final words before we get up out of here? I forgot. I always give my guests a chance to say their final piece before we go.
Oh, just thank you for having me.
Absolutely. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Cash McClure on Big Time Hoops, the podcast. Make sure you're checking out all the previous episodes wherever you get your podcast, and go check out the dunk contest and 3-point shootout. A lot of talented folks, a lot of talented kids all across the state putting their skills on display. So make sure you check out those. That's going to do it for today. We'll see you next time on Big Time Hoops, the podcast.